Bonjour, Mishko Paganon, Quain Addition Cosmundo Dam. Hi, everybody. It's Sandi Boucher once again, bleh, once again, and I'm here to do my Facebook Live, and these are so popular. So many of you have coming out. Oh, my account wants to take part today. Have you guys met Stormy? Well, not Stormy. All 6 weeks old, 6 weeks, 6 months old, and he's got a lot of energy, even more than I do. But as I was saying, so many of you come out to watch these Facebook Lives, whether you watch it live or watch the replay, that I really just wanted to honor your time, your dedication by making sure that what I share in these Facebook Lives is of value, is going to help you on your journey, as opposed to just coming on here and babbling, because I could totally do that too. Oh, I see 2 people are watching. Yay! Hello. So the first thing, I'm still doing the feather dancing. I'm on both sides, Indigenous, non-Indigenous, here in Canada, helping to Indigenous people to heal and become empowered. That was definitely my journey, helping non-Indigenous people to understand, helping to answer their questions. That is my role. That is why I am here. So today I wanted to share a couple of things that I think will really be of benefit no matter what side of the feather you're on. So first off, let's start on the niche side, the Indigenous side, or anyone who is marginalized or even struggling. I don't care what your cultural background or nationality is. Often, now I've been in business for 12 years now, and I speak to new entrepreneurs often. And they want to know how I overcame the fear, how I kept going on the days when it didn't seem like it was working. And especially in that first year, that can be so absolutely terrifying. So, and that's what I wanted to share with you today, because it may be a story that surprises you. When I started my business, I was living in a modest apartment, beautiful. It had the most amazing view. It was upstairs in this character home type house. I just absolutely loved it. Beautiful place to start my business. But there were days when, I would do a YouTube video back then and nobody was watching. So I would always shoot them thinking of the woman or man that would one day watch it, thinking of them and what did I want to say to them. But there were days when maybe an event it didn't book or it canceled or whatever the case may be, and I had to find a way past those days, and I came up with a surefire method that worked every single time. And this may surprise you. What I would do, sorry, choking here. What I would do in those moments of like fear and overwhelm, are you ready for this? I would get up from my office, I'd walk out into the hallway, into the bathroom, and I would flush the toilet. Now, I'm certain there's people out there wondering, why? What does that have to do with entrepreneurship or overcoming adversity? What? The truth is, I was raised in a home that didn't have running water. My parents, who were beautiful, hardworking people, worked hard every single day. My mom worked in a sawmill piling lumber. They did what they could to provide for us, and still they never had the luxury of indoor plumbing. By going into that bathroom and flushing that toilet, I reminded myself that even though at this moment in time I was struggling, and maybe I didn't know how this day, week, month, year was going to turn out, but I had already achieved so much more than my parents ever got to enjoy. It was humbling, it was reassuring, and I'm certain you can think of something that you have or you enjoy that your parents just never had the luxury. As an Indigenous woman, I have given speeches in my jingle dress. where my mom was terrified when people figured out her culture. That's one generation of difference. So I invite you to think of that story. Don't wait until you're stressing out and overwhelmed. Think of it now. Think of those things that you enjoy. The internet, for one, that our parents never got to. And it just helps you remember just how absolutely lucky we are. I hope that helped. Now, for the non-Indigenous side of the feather, last week I gave you 3 steps that I said I really wanted to encourage non-Indigenous people to start taking. So the first one was really building your awareness, looking at how the sales clerk reacts to that Indigenous person in front of you, watching how other people on the sidewalk react to that homeless person, just really starting to see the reality of where you live. The second step was to stop the bleeding, to speak up when people throw those racist slurs and say things like, not in my city, we can't do this. And then last but not least, educating yourself further, getting the books, taking the courses, because so many people are going to step 3 first, and then we need you. We need you to stop this bleeding so as Indigenous people we can heal. But as you all know, if you're in Canada and even abroad, the news has definitely spread here in Canada with the 215 children found out in Kamloops, the bodies of the children from the Kamloops residential school that never made it home. This is a time of crisis. And in those times when something is emotional and very stressful and you're not sure what to do, there is actually a 4th step, and it comes first. So in the time of crisis, the first thing you should do as a non-Indigenous person is simply hold space. Let the Indigenous people or the grieving people grieve. This is not the time for your comments. This is not the time for your opinions. This is not for you to jump to punishment and retribution. Silence. Like you would sit next to a loved one who is grieving. Just be there. Let the Indigenous people work through this, or whoever the injured party is. Simply hold space. So in the time of crisis, first hold space in silent support. We know you're there. We see that you're there. We see your likes. We see your comments or your little emoticon of support, and we so appreciate that. Hold space. Increase your awareness. Stop the bleeding, and then educate yourself further. So there's the 4 steps in times of crisis. The last thing, or second last thing, I guess I wanted to talk about today is an announcement. I'm absolutely so excited to say my next book, I Am Awake, based on all of my blog posts, well, the best of the last 3 years. Thank you so much, Rolly. I see the heart, sending you love. My book, it's gone off to mastering. My part is done. So obviously, with all the other books, I did a live launch, an event. Can't do that yet. Not comfy doing that yet. And besides that, so many of my friends and followers and loved ones are online in a bunch of different places, so that doesn't even seem fair anymore. So what I'm going to be doing is a Facebook launch. It's going to be an event that actually lasts 13 days. 13 is the day I was born. 13 happens to be my lucky number. And in this case, it just absolutely fits. The launch is going to run from June 30th, will be the first day, until July 12th. What's going to happen on every single day during the launch at 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock, there's going to be a Facebook Live. On June 30th, I'm going to be doing Facebook Lives and just talking about how much I love this book and why I love this book and why I think it will be a benefit to you. Now, here's the part you're going to want to pay attention to. If you watch the Facebook Live in replay or live on that day and you comment, your name is going to be entered into a daily draw to win a free copy, printed copy that I will mail to you, an autographed copy of the new book. At 5 o'clock every day, I will come back on and announce the winner for that day. So June 30th, I'm going to be talking about the book in general. July 1st, the first of the month, I'm going to be talking about the first month of the year, the entries from January, and I'm actually going to read a couple of them. Again, Facebook Live at 1 and 3 every single day. Your chance to win by commenting on them, and then at 5 o'clock every day, the daily draw. I am giving away a total of 13 free copies of my new book. Why? Because I love the stuffing out of you. And you've been in my corner, supporting me, loving me, encouraging me for the entire 12 years I've been doing this. And this just seems right. And I actually have another surprise for a few other people, but I'll share that later, maybe in the last day of the launch. Good idea. One last thing, the last thing is, what would you like to know? Do you have questions that you would love me to address in one of these Facebook Lives? Just comment on this Facebook Live video or send me an email, sandy@sandyboucher.com. You can go to my website, sandyboucher.com, and just use the contact form. Whatever, message me on Facebook in my Facebook group, whatever works for you. But if you have a question, I don't need to identify you in the video, but I would love to get you the answers you need. That is literally why I am here. So there you have it, my friends, this week's Facebook Live. Go flush that toilet if you're discouraged. Remember the 4 steps in crisis: hold space, increase your awareness, stop the bleeding, and then educate yourself. And don't forget to check out my Facebook book launch from June 30th to July 12th. I love you. Talk to you next weekend. Bye-bye.